Hey travellers, today I am reviewing the Intrepid Overland Tours camping facilities. I'll cover everything from the tents, the beds, showers, toilets that you'll use along the way. To start off with, the tents are old school sturdy canvas style tents. You'll be required to put these up and down most days. In our 9-day tour, there was one day where we didn't need to set up and pack up our tent. You'll become very, very good at it. The tents are really good. So Nat and I stayed in a tent together. We had plenty of space, plenty of room for bags. The tents are a good height so you can stand up, get changed. We did encounter some rain on a couple of the days and the rain was quite heavy and they held up very, very well. We pretty much copped 12 hours of pouring rain and all we got was a little bit of water seeping down the seams at the corners of the tent. So if you're in rain, I would just say move your stuff in from the corners, but they held up very, very well. They've been well used, they've been well travelled, but they're very, very sturdy and very, very good. I will give you one tip, because you're putting these up and down all the time, they use these metal clips that you have to put on. If you're going, get a knife or get a spoon or get a sturdy stick, clip them onto the hook and just pop them off. We sat there using our fingers for the first couple of days till we got onto that, and it made packing up the tent so much easier. As far as bedding, they give you about a 3-inch, a 75mm mattress, and I thought it wouldn't be comfortable enough for the journey, but I was actually wrong. Between the 6 of us, I didn't have one complaint about being able to sleep, about comfort, about sore backs, about anything. I heard other campers talking about how they seem to sleep better on these camp mattresses than they do at home, and that they had a bad back at home but they didn't have on the camp mattress. For whatever reason, they're actually quite good. If you've got a bad back or something, you might want to consider an extra mattress, but for us, we slept on them very, very well for 9 nights with no issues at all. Everywhere we went along the way, there were good flushing toilets. Because we were travelling such big distances, there were times where you sort of had to go bushy, as it's known. One thing I'd say is always keep a roll of this on hand. Although the toilets all flushed and were usually in pretty good nick, sometimes they wouldn't stock up the paper and you don't want to get caught out and have to use a foreign currency. The showers, I was so impressed with the showers. So even though it was camping, what they usually do is run copper pipe through like a combustion fire, and they light up the fire and get sort of piping hot water running through it. Everywhere we went, they sort of mentioned, trying to conserve water, but then when you get into the shower, they had these great big waterfall shower heads with piping hot water. So I was so impressed with the camping facilities. In Australia, a lot of our camps, you might get a long dropper or something like that, or kind of a bucket shower. Most of the places we went had good running water and nice hot showers. There was one stop where we did have the bucket shower, where you filled up the kettle and poured it into the bucket and then hoisted the bucket up and turned it on. But that was fine and it sort of added to the experience. Wi-Fi and phones. I didn't get a SIM card or anything for my phone when we got over there. Mostly, there was no Wi-Fi. A couple of the camps advertised Wi-Fi, but when you got there, it didn't work and things like that. And to be honest, the break from Wi-Fi, especially for the kids, to me was fantastic. If Wi-Fi is critical to you, I would say have a look at the data plans. In South Africa, the data plans were quite cheap. It was, I think, a couple of bucks for a SIM card and sort of $5 as your minimum plan to get some data. I would say though, the break from Wi-Fi was fantastic. Maybe take that opportunity to just enjoy the trip you're on. Laundry facilities were few and far between. We had to do hand washing, and we did 2 goes at hand washing. The second time we did it, we didn't get enough sun for our stuff to dry, and we ended up having to cart wet stuff, which was a bit of a pain. There was really good laundry facilities within the Kruger National Park campgrounds, but you need the right coins. So just be aware that if you're going to Kruger, that's probably the best spot to get your washing done because there's full washing machines and dryers. I found the camping facilities fantastic. When you've got flushing toilets and hot showers, good food, good bedding, what more could you want when you're out camping? Well done, Intrepid. Hi, me and Chewy would just like to say a very heartfelt thank you for watching our videos. You can help us out by hitting like, sharing, following or subscribing, and please drop us a comment. We would love to hear from you. Right, Chewy?